this is a good segue to talk about home course, how that kind of came about. I mean, we for years, Mike and I have been saying like we used to like love guilty pleasure was Cribs, right? And we were like MTV Cribs. Why is no one doing with this with PGA Tour players? So it was like refreshing to see when you did it. And I can imagine the why is probably there's a lot of challenges as you were starting to say, but it's some of the most entertaining stuff out there. I mean, it's just so great to like kind of humanize these guys, take a look inside. I mean, in a way, it's like it seems unreachable how amazing their homes are, but the personalities themselves, they seem very relatable. I think my favorite one was Jason Day. I've been a long time Jason Day fan. I think he's one of the most genuine, best guys on tour, and I'm always rooting for him to come back and be playing well again. But you could feel that in the tour. And, you know, even having, unfortunately, his mother's recently passed, but his mother there and just, but I just think it's great content. I'd just love to know a little bit more about how that kind of started.
Yeah, I mean, so I've always loved Cribs as well. I mean, there's some great videos that, you go back and when I was starting this, trying to get a vision like really off the ground, I went back and watched some of the old hits of Cribs and took me back for sure. Some great memories.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to be different though. Like I wanted it to be where, we could showcase these personalities and not just make it to where it was, chauvinistic or, people just being, hey,
Over
this
the
is all my
top.
great stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of that, like on like the Pat Perez episode where, they have some crazy stuff and they spend their money differently and, they love to like entertain. And so like that episode definitely had more like Cribs vibes to it.
Yep.
But for me, like I really wanted it to be where, we could show these people in a different light because in golf, one thing that they have a disadvantage of is that, when they're on, it's football and basketball and all that stuff. I mean, they're playing as well, but they can be more vocal, right? You can see their emotion more. With golf, it's, they're pretty straight laced. They're pretty, dialed in and
Yeah.
you're not hearing them talk very much. There's like very little caddy interaction and some of that, mic'd up could be unfavorable for them. Doesn't really show really exactly who they are. And
Right.
their press conferences are very dry and scripted too. And so it's like, and I got around a lot of these guys personally at some of these events and couldn't believe how different they were than from what I expected them to be, just from what I've seen on TV and read in the media or whatnot. And so to me, like, although I wanted it to be a great show for PGA memes and the brand and stuff, one of the biggest things that came out of it for me was I wanted it to be something that could be good and favorable for the people who agreed to be a part of it. And it has been. It's been pretty cool to see, like, thousands of people say, I didn't really know anything about Mark Leishman, but man, what a great guy. And like, dude,
Yeah.
he's like one of us, like what a stud. And now they root for Mark or, the next time
Mm-hmm.
they see Mark out on the course, there's that guy. Like, I love that guy. Like, he's so cool. Like family guy, he lives in kind of a regular neighborhood. He's down to earth, owns a brewery, like these stories that could come out in a different way on a different platform. That aren't PGA Tour platforms, I feel like it comes out more genuine as well.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty cool to see, and like the more they've come out, more people have trusted to be a part of it. Because like that's the biggest struggle, you guys, that I've come across as I've transitioned to creating content beyond like memes, is people trusting me or my ability to do something like at that high of level. Because I'm not stupid. Like you look at it, it's PGA memes, it's like
Right.
it is, you hear it and what do you expect out of that? You expect it to be kind of funny content, not really well buttoned up or put together. And maybe the
Right.
person behind it is a little crazy or something. But, that's one thing I've just continued to like to prove is, hey, like I'm actually been in business for a long time, been an entrepreneur for a long time and done a lot of good stuff and also just truly respect and, care about your image. So like, we're not going to do anything that's going to embarrass you. And we have a great production team that's going to put together high quality stuff. And so like Jason Day is a really good friend of mine and that worked out well to where we could have him be our pilot episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm friends with Leash and Pat Perez and like, Cam. So we got those guys to agree to do it out of my friendships with them. And what was great is as we started doing those, I could kind of share some of that content with other people to say like, hey, this is what we've done. And it opened up doors to bigger things that are coming too and bigger guests. And it's just, so it's, thankful for how it all came together, but it's been fun to do because it's like you go into these properties and get to see how these guys live and their way of life. It's really cool, man. And it's made me appreciate them as golfers, and I became bigger fans of each and every one of them that I've gone to, for sure.
What's funny is the day after Cam won the Players, we got a call from our Titleist rep, and they were like, you guys got Cam as an interview today for 10 minutes. And I'm like, great. Now I got to research him. So your episode with Cam was one of my huge research. Just I was able to ask questions about his Porsche that he wanted to buy and stuff. So it was super helpful, and it was a great episode. But what's next? I mean, how many seasons are done, and what's next? Any names you can tease, or what's going on there?
Yeah, so we did an initial 6-episode run, and it went great. It was exciting to see the guys that we got, and we kind of mixed it up a little bit where we had some stars that have won a bunch on tour, major champs. We had some up and comers. We had we had Rory Sabatini on there, who's kind of like on the tail end of his PGA Tour career, going to be going into the Champions Tour. Silver medalist. So it was cool to go through and have an interview around that, talk about the Olympics. And then we got Chris Como in there. He has his living room lab. He lives right here in Dallas by me, so it's kind of cool to show some of that. So it was, taking that back to see kind of where we were. We stepped into this new run of episodes, and we got Greg Norman to come on and talk about his storied career and his new venture with Liv. Mm-hmm. We got a few other tour guys in, so we're about 4 or 5 episodes into this next run. We got another 5 more that we're going to be putting out throughout the end of the year. And one thing we did recently, with Johnny Damon, is just started to incorporate some of these pro athletes that love golf. And that's something I had a vision for too, is I wanted it to be not just golf, because one, you could potentially run out of people who you can have as guests. But second, you've got people out there that love golf, that have these incredible homes and have these incredible stories about their careers, whether it was sport they were in or not, but how golf came into the mix. And I think that kind of content appeals to the average golf consumer more, just because, so Brian Urlacher is going to be here, a future guest here coming up. And, he's so passionate about golf. He was just out the ACC championship up in Tahoe. Mm-hmm. I want to learn more about that. Here's this big old linebacker that everybody feared for so many years in the NFL, and it's like, when playing in his playing time, like, you never could really imagine him swinging golf clubs and stuff, but now that's just what he does. And so I just want to learn a little bit more about what he loves about golf, how it relates to my love for golf, and, just how he goes about his game and all that stuff, and just talk some stuff about his career in the NFL as well. So, but we've got him coming up shortly. We're going to be doing John Romsholm, which is going to be really cool.
Sweet.
So we've got some really good guests coming up, and then we have a few series that we're going to be launching in addition to Home Course. So we'll have more regular content appearing on our YouTube channel, and hopefully have some fun with it.
Yeah, well, no doubt you kicked it off the right way. You hit a nerve of what people were looking for, because you did something that very few can do, and took a brand new YouTube channel. At the time I think it just launched. I don't remember seeing the channel before Home Course, but just to millions of views, like on these videos. So no doubt, it hit a nerve. He had the right content at the right time. So I commend you on that.
Frank, one of the names is in my mind that, Travis, you should look into. You probably have already, but CC Sabathia. Here's a guy
that would be pretty cool,
who lives in a gazillion-dollar home right down the road in Alpine from here.
Yeah.
And he's huge into golf, storied career, baseball, World Series champ. But it's endless. I love that you could just bring these other outsiders who aren't golfers, who just have a passion for it, like Johnny. I think that's brilliant. I love it.
Well, it's like what Travis said. Like, so it's so relatable, because so many, even Travis yourself, like getting into golf later in life, like playing other sports growing up and then getting into golf. Same thing with some of these guys who are pro ball players and then they get into golf later. It's just such a relatable experience.